And good Saturday morning. Welcome. Icy Saturday morning. Tell them, Mike Powell.
Yeah, I know from personal experience, having driven up here from Cherryville, I saw about 7 disabled cars, 2 or 3 like down deep gullies on bridges. Pretty dicey, and dicey is the word this morning.
Yeah, very slick. If you don't have to be out, everybody I think is recommending that you don't.
Yeah.
Of course, Brett and I, our 300-yard trip, whatever it is,
as opposed to my 17-mile trip.
Is it 17 miles?
Well, something like that.
And you can tell us that the Cherryville Freeway, what kind of shape was it in? The Krause Freeway.
The Krause Expressway?
Yeah.
Not in good shape.
Not in good shape.
Not in good shape.
I did hear that parts of 321, as you head from Lincoln into Gaston County, was shut down.
Yeah.
I heard that, right
well, it seems as if, whereas there's just been no preparation by maintenance crews for this. I mean, I haven't seen any signs of any salt on the road that was distributed, or saw a little sand as I came into.
Wasn't beach sand, right?
It wasn't. It wasn't Ocean Isle sand. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I mean, just every man for himself. It's sort of. I guess the best we can hope for is if the sun stays out, it will maybe soften things up a little bit.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's 19 degrees.
Yeah, it's a factor.
It stuck instantly. I was surprised, and I guess maybe because of the slope of my driveway, and it actually gets some sun toward the end of the driveway. Nothing on it at all.
Really?
Now back closer to the house where it's always shaded, it's covered in snow. But about 15 feet out, it was nothing, which was good. Makes it easier to get up the incline and go. But traffic is moving here in front of our studio, but it's moving slowly, as it should be.
Yeah, I'd say 40, 45 is probably about the appropriate speed to go.
Yeah, we don't want them going any faster because we don't want any drive-through visitors.
No,
this morning here,
like driving through the studio. Yeah,
that would not be good. You guys are cornered in over there. I'm diving toward the back.
Yeah, we're trapped. We're trapped by the wall.
Let's hope we don't have to do that. Let's hope we don't have to do that. And we were talking about it a little bit earlier. There was a time when somebody invented a drive-through window for Subway down here about a year or so ago. So it can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah. It wasn't icy that day either. So.
No, it doesn't even take ice.
It does not. Oh man, what a day! What a day! Is this the best NFL weekend of the year every year when you got 4 what we hope to be quality games? Last week we had 6 games and only 2 of them were within 1 possession.
I mean,
so it was really
you had
not
to
a great
decide.
weekend.
Should I go walk the dog, or maybe when I come back it'll be a better game, or
my dog will walk himself.
Most of them are snooze affairs. I mean, we had a little drama in the Dallas San Fran game, obviously.
Comedy of errors
and time mismanagement. But other than that, it was.
And also the Bengals and Raiders. And I thought, man, that thing is going to set the tone. We've got a 1-score game here. Little did I know we'd only have 1 more the entire weekend. But I thought, this Bengals-Raiders game, this has been great. It could go either way in your final 2 or 3 minutes. And then the next games, I mean, Buffalo looked absolutely amazing in their outing. Help me out. Who else played on Saturday?
Tampa Bay was up 30. Well,
just those 2 on Saturday.
Yeah,
just those 2 on Saturday. First the Bengals, and then Buffalo, and then Tampa Bay, like you said,
31-0.
Oh,
it was a walk.
Yeah.
And I was. Were you surprised with just how inept the Cardinals looked against the Rams?
In a way, yes, but in a way, no, because they slid down the hill so fast the second half of the season.
10-2 go, and then did they win another game?
They're 7-0,
yeah,
and then 10-2, and
they lost 4 out of 5
They won. They beat Dallas.
Dallas
didn't they?
was their win. Yeah.
How about that? Their one win in that stretch was beating the Cowboys.
And they lost 5 out of 6 counting the playoff game.
So it was a team that was in free fall by the time of the playoffs.
So if you had to say right now, with the way they played the first half of the season versus the way they played the second half of the season, are the Cardinals in the playoff mix a year from now?
I think it's a big question. Is Kyler Murray the guy?
Which team will it be?
He was so bad flipping balls out the end zone to avoid a safety, and it gets.
Where did he come up with some of those terrible throws he made?
He needs to be reevaluated.
He never. I don't know. I never seen him play like.
I hadn't either, and he. Yeah.
Just a hook shot.
Yeah.
One time he just threw up the old Kareem sky hook from the back of the end zone, and just an easy pick six.
Offensively, they there's a bad performance.
I think I heard that was the shortest pick six in playoff history.
Yeah, I heard that.
It probably didn't decide the
yards.
outcome.
Yeah.
It probably didn't decide the outcome, but it certainly set the tone for what was for the whole game, didn't it? It was the one single play that symbolized the game.
Because how can you overcome such a horrible mistake? I mean, that's the thing about how can you overcome such a mistake like that. Let's see here. Of course it's not going to give me. Let's see, wild card weekend. That's what I want. Go back through these real quickly. 26-19 was the. I say that the Raiders game was a good one. They were in it. For some reason, it seemed like the Bengals had control in this game to me the entire time.
Yeah.
Even though they only won by 7, it's like, were they ever really threatened, by the Raiders? But still.
Well, the Raiders, they kicked a field goal pretty late to cut it to 7.
Yep. Get it down to one possession.
And I don't remember. Did they get the ball back with a chance? I can't even remember that. Or did the Bengals run out the clock?
That's a good question. I can't recall either right off the top of my head. But what I was going to say is the Raiders interim coach, and his name slips my mind right now. But
I never can think of.
I thought he did a terrific job, but it doesn't look like they're going to keep him. I mean, it starts with a B. Basaccia.
Oh, they did get it. They did have a chance. Remember, they drove it down, spiked it, and wasted a play.
You're not talking about Dallas?
Yeah. The Raiders, they had
Dallas didn't spike it.
Didn't get a chance.
They had about 30 seconds left in 1st and goal, and they spiked it and wasted a play when they could have ran a play.
Right.
And then they ran a couple more and threw an interception.
And I sent each other the same text at the same time. Why do you spike it on 1st down when you're only going to get 4? You just reduced your chances by 25% by taking that play away. Mm-hmm. You can snap it and throw it in the end zone if nothing else.
Yeah.
Don't spike it to stop the clock. Take 4 shots in the end zone. Now you're down to 3. I do remember that, Brett. They did have an opportunity. But, again, these guys that should be pros and are pros at clock management.
Yeah.
Clock management was not pretty during Wild Card Weekend for the Raiders or for the really for the Cowboys.
I mean, don't they ever practice some of these end-of-game plays?
Well, Mike McCarthy said they practice that run play with 14 seconds every week.
I'm sure they do.
I used to respect him a lot and think a lot of him, but I don't know. I'm starting to wonder a little bit now. Maybe he was such a good coach because Aaron Rodgers was, the quarterback and making it just a little bit easier.
Although you certainly can't deny that this year, what were the Cowboys, 12-5, won the division? Is that right? Something like that.
Yeah, but Mike, that
still didn't do anything to playoffs.
The games they lost were like, if you go back and look at the games they lost, it usually looked like coaching error.
Yeah, it did.
In the games they lost along the way. Rodney up this morning says the Raiders kept shooting themselves in the foot with untimely penalties, all the false starts, holdings, etc. There's a point too, and don't get me wrong. Most of these, he says, killing the big plays and the momentum. Most of these penalties are real penalties when they go back and show them. But I just don't ever remember a season. I wonder if we broke the record this year for penalties. I mean, we had an extra week, so there's a good chance we did.
Oh, yeah.
But I wonder if we broke some kind of record this year for penalties because just like the other day, Dallas had 14. San Francisco in the same game had like 12, didn't they?
Yeah, you get into the double digits in penalties, and you're an NFL team. That's inexcusable.
It makes it harder to watch.
It does.
Because you never get in a flow. I mean,
you
you start looking every time there's a snap, every time there's a play,
Yeah.
and they tackle somebody, then you start looking around. You look at the bottom right corner of your screen to see if the little yellow flag word pops up, because you're expecting it. You're just sitting there watching the game, and you're just expecting penalty markers because it has been the year of penalties.
Yeah, every time there's a stretch play down the field or a post pattern, I'm looking for a flag on every play, just about.
I do. I look at that bottom right corner to see who got flagged this time.
Yeah.
And there's everything from defensive holding on running plays, which is so strange, to offensive holding. I still want the rule to come in that with everything aimed to help the offense, because most of the penalties result in automatic first downs.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see the rule put in if you're going to do that. Guess what? If you get a holding call on offense, automatic fourth down.
Okay.
Why not even that? Why do we not see that? If
it's automatic
do you
first
realize
down,
it could be 4th and 80? And if you throw the ball from me to you, and there's a holding penalty on the defense, it's an automatic first down. Does that seem right? Does that seem right? I mean, I know we want more offense, but really? I mean, and I've seen some 4th and 30s where they were awarded an automatic first down.
Yeah,
and not throwing the ball down the field either, just short pass, defensive
automatic
hold.
First down.
Automatic. That's the worst words in football. Automatic.
Yep.
First, the worst 3 words in football.
Well, as we know, the game is the rules are designed to favor offensive movement.
And some of them still look horrible.
Mm-hmm.
As much offense as we want, some of these teams still look pretty bad on the offensive side of the ball. The Bills beat the Patriots 47-17. They calling it the perfect game for Josh Allen.
The perfect storm.
Scored touchdowns on every possession except when they took a knee. Is that right?
Yeah.
They scored.
Well, after that weird game with the win in which
about a month ago,
Mac Jones only threw 3 passes, Buffalo has absolutely manhandled the Patriots.
Yeah, twice.
Yep.
They sure have. Yeah, what was the score of the final that regular season meeting?
Yeah, it was
pretty lopsided.
It was in 3 or 4 touchdowns.
I don't think it's as bad as this one though. This one was 27-3 by halftime.
Yeah.
I usually don't get bored with a playoff game, especially if New England's involved. But man, they were just.
Well, I kept nodding off on Tampa Bay versus Philadelphia. You got to admit that was pretty sleepy too.
It was, and that's the next one on the list. That was your first game on Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
It was 14-0 by the end of the first quarter. It was 17-0
at
half, and it seemed like it was 37.
It did. Yeah, because Philadelphia they couldn't even get a first down.
They couldn't move the ball on the Bucks.
Well, now do you reassess Jalen Hurts as the QB moving forward?
Well, he's been reassessed, and he's the starter going into next year,
Okay.
according to the Eagles' front office and coaching staff. So,
yeah.
You followed him. You followed his career. Is he the guy for the job?
Well, he's a determined guy, and he definitely works very hard to get better. Maybe you don't throw him out with the dishwater yet, but I figure he's got one more year to see if he can really, be an NFL quarterback and do more than just run, zone reads and have to use his legs all the time. He's got to be able to throw the football down the field, but maybe he doesn't have very good pieces around him. He probably doesn't at this point. But you got to say, what they finished 10-7, 9-8, made the playoffs,
and don't Philly have 3 first-round draft picks?
Yeah,
coming up.
So
this year in the draft,
it could be a brighter. Yeah, so it could be they do have some stuff.
They have said. I liked what I heard yesterday. I can't remember who I was listening to. Might have been Dan Patrick. I've listened to him quite a bit lately, but is that they were saying that the Eagles have solidified that Hurts is their quarterback and all this. He'll be the quarterback moving forward till they take one in the draft in April.
Yeah, that far. He'll go that far. April, right?
So you wonder with 3 first-round picks and a light quarterback
Yeah,
class.
it's
you
not
gotta-
a good
you gotta-
class. It's
you know,
not an
I guess
outstanding class.
the guy from Pitt, help me with his
Kenny
name.
Pickett.
Pickett. Yeah, that's a scary name for my
Pickett's
quarterback.
charge, yeah.
And who's the other? Of course, you got Sam Howell projected to go late
Well,
in the
the
first
guy
round.
from Mississippi, Matt
Ole Miss.
Corral.
Yeah.
Liberty.
And Liberty.
Yeah, can't remember his name.
Malik.
Jerry Falwell.
I don't know whether it's Malik Wilson or it could be.
Well, okay, that right there tells you what the quarterback class is
That's
like
it.
when we can't get the full name of one of the top 4 when it doesn't ring a bell. But
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis out of Liberty.
Will any quarterback get drafted in the first round? Surely Pickett will.
Oh yeah, there'll be a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Teams are desperate.
Yep.
Yeah. One mock draft had Sam Howell going to Detroit. So is Detroit already thrown in the towel on
Goff.
Yeah.
Goff. Oh.
I mean, and
Malik Willis out of Roswell High School in Georgia.
Somehow he could be the
Is that right?
same kind of guy that Sam Darnold has been. Great potential, big, 6'5", 6'6".
hardest job in sports,
It is.
selecting the quarterback that's going to be the franchise quarterback.
And there's hardly even
Hardest-
32 guys walking the face of the earth that can do the job.
You know, how come when we were growing up, what's so different today? You didn't hear about that. That wasn't a thing. It's like everybody's quarterback was good.
Yeah.
You know,
My God,
or did we just miss it and it wasn't talked about as much because it was like all the teams were. I mean, there were teams that weren't competitive, but it never got said because they need a franchise quarterback. I never heard those words till the last
term
20
franchise
years.
quarterback was when I started watching football. You know,
I know it's turned into more of a passing game.
back during the primordial era. But no, really, you never heard that term, franchise quarterback.
Mike, you'll remember, was Otto Graham the face?
He was probably the first true face of the team, Otto Graham.
Yeah, and he had a face for the team because he
Redskin.
did not have a face mask on, so you could see the. You could
Yeah,
see.
and I remember so well Sammy Ball.
Slinging Sammy.
Slinging Sammy
That's
Ball.
right.
Hey.
But I would like to know when the first time the term was used, franchise quarterback. I mean, I'd say probably in the Montana era, maybe that early.
Could've been.
But I don't think we heard that as kids growing up. I don't remember that being the thing and that being the key to winning. I mean, like I said, I know we throw now way more than we did. The NFL throws the ball a whole lot more. Most teams throw 60? Wouldn't you say 2/3 of the plays today in NFL or pass attempts, compared to 25% back in the Terry Bradshaw era?
With the exception of the 49ers.
Well, they were one of the first that came along that really started airing it out more. But they had.
But I'm talking
Jerry
about now.
Rice
They
and-
still run the football.
Well, they do. Yeah, now they're a running team. Yeah, they do. They want to anyway.
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
And very creative in what they in their schemes to run the football, like getting wide receiver Deebo Samuel.
I really think Kyle Shanahan, if he keeps chipping away, I can see him winning a Super Bowl with that franchise.
What are they missing right now? Is there anything in particular?
The quarterback.
The franchise quarterback.
There we get back to that phrase. Garoppolo, is he?
They have,
He's good enough.
out of the 8 teams left, they have the worst quarterback.
Do
far as
they? You
rank-
think so?
Yeah.
First.
I mean, is that like ratings, or are you just
No,
saying?
it's just what I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
But, I mean,
I
I
can
guess
see that.
Tannehill would be the only one close to Garoppolo's.
And the word is on
Level.
Tannehill is he won't make the mistakes. Boy, I mean, Garoppolo almost gave it away last week with that pick he threw. He threw one just about as bad as Murray at a critical time in that game, right when Dallas was gaining momentum. He threw the ball right to him. Threw it right to him.
That's his Achilles heel throughout his career.
Yep. How do you eliminate that?
You
Do
got-
you think 49ers fans are just really eager to see Trey Lance to begin that era whenever that happens?
I think they're just hungry to win another Super Bowl, and they don't care who the quarterback
who the
is.
QB is.
But yeah, And I'm not. We don't know if Trey Lance is the answer. If
No,
he's
we
the
don't.
answer, he'd already be in there, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
If they were sold that he is the answer,
Yeah.
he'd already be behind center, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks rolled over the Eagles 31-15 last week in that game. They just, despite a lot of injuries, they're still the Bucks. They're still playing at home, and the NFC will go through Tampa at least for one more week, right?
Yep, one more week.
At least one more week, and then Green Bay, should they win, would be the home team for the championship game. 49ers 23, Cowboys 17. That's just one of the weirdest games I've ever watched.
Yeah, I've never seen an ending
all
quite
the penalties,
like that.
the ending, and then I think they changed their tune a little bit, but for all the mistakes that Dallas made in that game, they wanted to blame the officials at the end who did everything by the book.
Yeah, you got to touch the ball.
Supposedly, everybody, the NFL made a statement that they did everything by the book, exactly like it was supposed to be done as far as spotting the ball and everything. You just don't run the ball in that situation, It's like I said, they were letting Prescott go on down the field because he's running time. We'll get him. We'll get him eventually, but time will run out if we let him run long enough. The only thing you want to do at that point is just not let him run into the end zone if you're San Francisco. The Steelers and the Chiefs, Big Ben probably playing in his final game. Didn't go out the way he wanted, but the Chiefs were just too much. Hard to believe this game wound up 42-21 after a scoreless first quarter.
Yeah.
The Chiefs just I don't know what. The Chiefs remind me of Golden State in basketball. They can look sluggish for a while, but give them 5 minutes and they can put 21 points on the board. Just
explosive
like that.
is the word.
Danny Hoover says, being a Cowboy fan, it's Jerry Jones' fault, period. And, it's kind of – it probably is. It probably is because it's the mentality, and Jones running the franchise. It's almost like they're always looking for a bailout, somebody to blame. You know what I mean? And that goes back to your ownership. All the way back to the ownership.
It's still hard to believe they haven't won a Super Bowl since '95. Isn't that right?
So here's the question then, and I think we may have asked this last week: is it more important to win Super Bowls, or is it more important to be the man in charge? I think we know the answer in Dallas.
Yeah.
If 30 years don't tell you, 25 to 30 years don't tell you the answer, to me it looks like it's more important for Jerry to be in charge in his mind. I'm not saying for the organization because
he really wants to win a Super Bowl, but he only wants to do it his way.
Yeah.
He wants to be like Sinatra. I did it my way. But my way's not working.
He's going to be 105 years old, and he's going to win one. He's going to call Jimmy Johnson's up and said, "See, I told you."
I know. Hey, I did it my way, Jimmy.
See, I told you. But then again, you take Jimmy, you put him on the Dolphins organization, and for a few years, and he don't get it done there.
He doesn't get it done there.
So it's the combination. You know what it really comes down to for Dallas is they hit the jackpot at the right time with the Herschel Walker trade, and they were able to load up on first round, second round talent and get all those players in there like Aikman, Emmett, Troy, Novacek,
Michael Irvin.
Irvin. Yeah, Aikman and Troy, same person.
But they had great offensive lines.
Great offensive line, they sure did. Nate Newton, the face of the offense.
Yeah. Has there a trade in any sport ever benefited a team more?
And maybe Jimmy Johnson wasn't as great a coach as we give him.
Maybe not.
But maybe he was the best in the draft room.
Yep.
And
apparently
he pulled off the trade of the century. Then he drafted the correct people, and that's what they always say.
One thing I think
he
did well was he got all those guys to buy in and play together.
Not be selfish.
Yeah.
He didn't have any selfish players.
Right. That's true.
I think he was a good motivator.
But, I mean, that's a long time ago.
It's so long ago.
Here's the one thing about it. Over half of the population in America probably wasn't born
Yeah.
the last time they won.
yeah,
right?
but-
Wouldn't you say that?
A big chunk of the demographic that watches football they don't know anything about Eggman and
Now making Brett feel old.
94, 95 and the history of the Cowboys, even going back to Tom Landry. They don't know. They have no knowledge of that, or they don't think about
Well, if you're a teenager today, the only thing you know is the NFL belongs to New England.
it. Yeah,
That's
all you
I
know.
mean, because you got Tom Brady who's won 7, even though one was with a different team. It's still been a New England football world since they first upset the Rams. And what year was that?
2003, was it 3 or
The
2?
greatest show on turf. I mean, you think about so if you were born in 2003 when they won that and beat the Rams, you're what now? Going on 19?
Yeah.
And think about that. I mean, that's
Hey, 19, we can't dance together.
the Steely Dan
Steely
reference
Dan reference.
of the morning. Lenny says, think of the days when primary running quarterbacks like Greg Landry in Detroit, Bobby Douglas in Chicago, the quarterback that ran around until he had to throw it like Fran.
Yeah, Fran Tarkenton.
Yep. And you know what? Fran Tarkenton was, as a kid, was probably my favorite to watch.
Yeah,
All
that
growing
scrambling.
up. Yep. Just making plays.
Mm-hmm.
Out there making plays. Let's see. The last one we talked about here, 49ers, Cowboys, Chiefs, and Steelers. That's and we already talked about just for a few minutes early on the Cardinals and the Rams. I did see. Let's take a break and get your thoughts on this when we come back. Okay, with only 2 games being really competitive last week out of the 6, did we make the right move by expanding the playoffs? Think about that. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. David Keever, Brett Keever, Mike Powell is entering. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah,
You like that reference?
good reference.
Lost the meatloaf
Mm-hmm.
over the last couple of days. Lost meatloaf. Lost Louis Anderson.
Yep.
Brett says Louis Anderson. Want to know if Louis is in that category? Is he famous enough?
Well, I mean, he's not a famous comic in the sense of, say, a George Carlin or some others, but
Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld.
yeah, the real the giants, the giants of the.
Well,
No,
Meatloaf, it wouldn't
He
be
wouldn't-
in that
he
category with the
No, he
you
wouldn't.
know,
No,
No.
it was
Beatles or
It
Rolling
was the
Stones.
one album that put Meatloaf on the map, right? And you know, of course.
What was
2
the
out of 3
title
ain't
of his
bad.
first album? Bat Out of Hell.
Bat Out of Hell was the big one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Paradise by the Dashboard Light, very popular.
Yeah,
I
he was.
won't do
He was
that.
more of a novelty.
Mhm.
Certainly, you wouldn't say he was mainstream rock and roll.
He wouldn't have won American Idol, right?
Right.
Because he doesn't look the part. You know,
Mhm.
number one, and
He was
but-
over the top. He didn't do traditional
But he was,
rock and
you know,
roll lyrics.
Yep. I had the I want to say at that time probably 8-track. Would that
Mhm.
not have been right?
Yeah.
For us old enough to know that, I think I had his Bat Out of Hell 8-track.
What was that, around 78?
Oh
I think.
Lord,
Something like that.
I don't know. That's a good question. But you know,
He started the businesses way back in the 60s, as I recall.
a lot. You know, it's sad, but it's time in most of our lives, especially me, Mike, and Lanny, that people we grew up watching, listening to, whatever it may be, they're passing away,
They are.
and you know, in groups, it seems like from time to time, you know, somebody to report just about every single week.
Yeah, hardly a week goes by.
Yep, somebody different, either in the acting world or the music world, or you know, things like that. Of course, you know, I mean, we still the greatest music of all time, though, right? The '60s, '70s, the classics.
That's the way I look at it.
I think even Brett does. and
There
he-
was a
Brett-
little revival in the '90s with grunge, with Nirvana, with all that stuff. for 4 or 5 years in the 90s, but I'd still say the 60s and 70s probably.
The Seattle push really
Yeah.
was Pearl Jam. Brett's a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, I mean, there were so many Nirvana like groups that came out of that whole movement, Seattle, that area.
Let's see. We talked about the games. The Rams, a winner 34-11. Some of the weirdest scores, 34-11. Of course, you see that these days. More teams going for 2-point conversions at different points throughout the game, whatever their reasoning being. But, what I left you with, do you like the playoffs being expanded? We only have two games rather, that were within one possession. You had a 30-point game. You had a 16-point game, a 21-point game, and a 23-point game to go along with those two 7-point games. Myself, we do know this. Now that we are here and we have 7, it's not going back the other way, ever.
Right.
We know we're not going back the other way. It's always going to be at least 7 from each conference. And I'm not going to base the results of 1 year. I'm not going to say jump.
We need a bigger sample.
I mean, they're going to be good matchups every year in that wild card round. There are going to be some bad matchups every year in that wild card round. I'll be willing to say if you go back and look at last year or the year before, there's also some blowouts in the first round. Just adding another team, to me, just gives more fans something to, enjoy, be anxious about, root for their team. I mean, who were the 2 7 seeds this year? Philadelphia and
Pittsburgh, wasn't it?
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
I mean, Philadelphia's kind of making a step forward by making the playoffs. They get 3 first-round draft picks. They're going to improve their team.
Right.
Pittsburgh, you got to see Big Ben. He wouldn't have been in the playoffs in his final season. What wound up being his final season, if it wasn't expanded, and it almost didn't happen anyway because there was almost a tie, which is a whole different subject.
I don't know, though. In a way, I kind of wish Big Ben had made his swan song. The fact when they won that game. No, they had another game after that.
They won at home, and that's when he was really, the celebration.
And then they went to Baltimore
and won there.
Won there too.
Yeah, and won there.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if the L.A. Chargers had made the playoffs. I think they would have played Kansas City a much better game than Pittsburgh did.
Yeah, the Chargers were probably a better team than Pittsburgh, probably a better team than Philadelphia.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just the division that you wind up playing in. That
I think they were the best team that didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. Is there anybody else you could say that about? Jets?
Hey, guys, how about the Giants? New general manager.
New general manager coming in.
Joe Sheen.
Coming from. Is that how you pronounce it? I saw it.
Shane, I think. Joe Sheen or Shane?
Shane. Joe Sheen or Shane.
Joe Shane.
Coming from Buffalo.
Yeah,
right?
he'd been assistant.
Yep, assistant GM.
GM there.
And Buffalo has really built a nice roster. I don't know how big of a – you never know. I mean, it's just like the quarterbacks, the coaches, the GMs are the same. You never know. You don't know till 3 years down the road. What we do know, though, for sure, is that the Giants needed a change.
Absolutely. And now Joe Shane's job is to quickly find a head coach. What do you guys think? Head coach for the Giants. Dan Quinn's starting to get a lot of push now.
Dan Quinn should be the top candidate on everybody's list.
I like Flores.
Flores is
and I think he'd be a good fit with the Giants.
The reason I say Quinn, the only reason I'd take Quinn over Flores, he's been there.
He's been there.
Had the Super Bowl. He's been a head coach.
And he did a heck of a job with Dallas's defense.
He did. He's the one defensive-minded coach that I think
could work.
Yeah, because for the most part, and of course Flores' defense too. But
I still don't understand.
You better have a strong offensive coordinator when you hire a defensive coordinator for your head coach.
You better.
In my opinion.
You got to.
So.
I still wonder the mystery of Flores' dismissal at Miami, the way they finished the season. Did pretty well the second half, did they not?
Oh yeah,
all
they
I
start
heard
1 and
was
7
he
and
was
finish
just
9 and 8.
Well, they lost 7 in a row and they won 7 in a row.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of a weird season.
It is.
They won their first game, lost 7 straight, then won 7 straight.
Yeah.
Before losing again.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard he's just kind of rough and hard for management to communicate with.
Maybe it's the problem is between Flores and Tua. Maybe they don't. Maybe they aren't on the same page, so to speak. Hate to use a cliche, but
Butch Parker says, I saw Meatloaf one night at yesterday's in Hickory.
All right.
Packed the house and a great show.
Excellent.
Packed the house, yeah. I bet.
That's a good memory.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, that would. No idea, but 1985. I'm just throwing that out there, Butch. That's about that seemed like that might be the time that.
Well, here's another
maybe earlier than that.
Here's another sad realization: how many famous people or even performers have we now lost to COVID?
I don't even know, Mike. I mean,
John Prine for sure.
That's the first one I remember that.
Charlie Pride.
Yeah. John Prine's the first one I remember.
Me too. It's the first one that really jumps out, John Prine.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. No idea. All right. Wild card weekend. We pretty much covered that and looked at the games from last week. It's time to see what you guys think for the divisional round. You would think that the divisional round will be much better.
Yeah, because you texted me last week and said next week will be better. And
It will.
I hope
it should.
so.
It should. Well, you got 2 teams that didn't play last week, but expect. Butch said way too long ago to remember what year it was. Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking about when it was probably after Meatloaf was at his peak, right? And while yesterday's was at its peak, because he wouldn't go to yesterday's when he's,
right,
in the big time. But yeah, I can see it later.
I figured it was sometime in the 70s, wouldn't you?
I thought that's when he was, peaking. He was hitting.
Yeah, surely he was playing bigger arenas.
Bigger arenas,
yeah.
And
that's why I say, yeah.
Maybe Butch saw him and he was sort of on the rise before he was.
I think it'd be the other way. I just think it'd be the other way.
He was on the downside.
Yeah, on the backside of the career. If you had to rank the games, the matchups for this weekend, what would be number one? What's the number one game you can't miss? You're only gonna get to watch one. What's it gonna be?
One.
You're only gonna get to watch one game.
Well, I'm going to have to go Buffalo KC because this could be the year that Allen finally,
gets over the hump.
Gets over the hump, allegedly, against his nemesis.
Brett, which one's must see for you? Mike answered pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, just to go a different direction, I guess I would say the Rams and Bucks. I think that's the most, star-studded matchup.
Yeah, well,
But the team I like watching the most in it is Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay and San Francisco would be mine. I mean, to me, that's the one.
Because of Rodgers' wizardry.
Well, just all kind of things. I mean,
Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
Let's see, 9 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Champions, 9-time right here.
Yeah.
And not counting the Packers would probably have 6 more if there were Super Bowls before there were Super Bowls.
This is true NFL royalty.
It is.
These two programs.
That's and their playoff games historically have been really good.
Yeah.
When they meet each other. 23 wins amongst them this year. That to me is, that's the one. I don't get me wrong. If everything works out, I'm not going to miss any of them.
Yeah.
But that's the one that draws the most of my interest, which kind of sad because will tomorrow be a letdown for me? No, it won't, because you got Rams-Bucks. Anytime you got another thing that's a draw for this one, anytime you've got the defending champ playing,
right,
people want to see it because are they going to be able to make another run?
And will they? I mean, I know a couple of their top offensive linemen got banged up last week against Philadelphia. Will they be in top form? And they've already, of course, they lost Chris
Godwin.
And then Antonio Brown, left the field. He's done. They still have weapons, but I don't know if they're the same team they were at this time last year.
I don't think they're as good as they were last year.
Yeah, I don't either.
Well, I think the Rams won last week because Arizona was just absolutely horrible.
Abysmal.
I think Tampa wins this game.
Okay.
I don't know how pretty it'll be or anything like that, but I think they win this game because one thing they're not going to do, they're not going to say, "Here, Rams, we want you to take it."
Yeah.
Brady. That's not Brady, right?
No,
he's not going to give the game away.
I think the Rams have a better team. I just don't trust them.
They may have a better roster, actually, when you when you consider everything.
I think they have the best roster.
Well, they have in the league more star power. I'll put it that way. They have more star power on the Rams.
I just don't trust. I guess their organization, to play another great game.
Well, do you trust
especially
Stafford?
on the road?
Stafford,
no, I don't. And I didn't think they'd win last week. I just thought Kyler Murray would outplay him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was way off. I don't think Stafford played great. It's just, they played great as a team, and Arizona was awful.
Well, how does the return of Cam Akers, the running back, after who I guess messed up his hamstring, missed the whole year, how does that impact this game for L.A.?
That's a big plus for L.A.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
A big plus for L.A. I mean,
they're loaded with weapons all over the place.
And Tampa Bay's banged up. They do have some injuries. They have some guys that won't play. The big, really good offensive lineman that I heard this week is a future Hall of Famer. What's his
Wirfs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't know if
he
he's
went out
playing or
last
not.
week. I think it's going to be a last-minute
Remember
decision.
last year in the Super Bowl, Kansas City's injuries along the offensive line definitely hurt them in that game.
And, if you can't plant that foot as offensive lineman, you're worthless, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to get pushed around all day.
I think the Rams are a better team, but I won't pick against Tom Brady when it seems like it seems like a toss-up, really.
Would you feel different if it was in L.A.?
Not really.
No,
I don't think they have that much of an advantage at home. I don't know that the Bucs have much of an advantage at home. The one team that does is Green Bay, and that's where one of these teams is going to be headed, most likely.
Oh, you're already writing them in?
Well, I think Green Bay will win.
Yeah,
I won't be shocked if the 49ers do, but
yeah, I'm with you on that one as well. And then, the one Mike picked too, we get to close out the weekend with what could be a classic, the Bills and the Chiefs.
I think that could be the best matchup.
Mm-hmm. I know we're kind of throwing our picks out there at random because I've already told you who I like in the Bucs game.
Well, last week I picked the Bills
Green Bay
to be in the Super Bowl. So,
well, I'm sorry, they're not going to make it past this round.
At the beginning of the year, I picked Kansas City to be in the Super Bowl, and last week I changed that to Buffalo.
All the talk this week.
I'd like to see Buffalo in it.
I would too.
That's one reason I picked them.
I would too, but all the talk this week has been so much about Josh Allen that Patrick Mahomes is probably going to throw for about 5 TDs, and Kansas City I think moves forward in that game, and especially they're playing in front of their home crowd, one of the loudest crowds, one of the best home. Both of them have great home field advantages, but the Bills won't get to experience that today except from the other side. And it would be great for all of football if the Bills not only won this game but went on and won a Super Bowl. Because,
I agree.
I think it's one of the most storied franchises. They were in an era, people fought them for getting to the Super Bowl 4 times, in a row. and not winning it, you know. But they played at a time. If you go back and look, the NFC was.
Oh
dominant.
yeah, the NFC was just much
Oh,
better.
it was.
The
So
NFC
much
was.
better.
They won like 9, 10,
Yeah.
11 in a row.
We didn't have the parity then.
Denver finally
that
broke
we
that
do now.
ice. And what year was that when Denver
Was that around
Elway and
Late
and
90s.
late 90s, 98?
They beat
97,
Atlanta and
back to
Green
back.
Bay.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Maybe Green Bay first. I can't remember which one was first. But it was just an era when the NFC was just so much better, and
Yeah, it was
and especially the NFC
Dallas,
East.
San Francisco, Washington, the Giants.
Yep.
They were those teams were dominant.
Oh, yeah.
And
So
the Bills and the Niners never
Buffalo
met.
kind of gets a bad rap because you're right. They were going up in the Super Bowl against some of the historically the best teams ever in the NFL. When you
And-
talk about the Dallas team, Montana's 49ers, that bunch.
They never had to play the 49ers. Though.
No,
It's funny
but they did have to play
It was
Dallas.
Dallas twice, the Giants, and
Yeah.
Washington.
Right.
But the thing I remember
The
is,
Redskins. You can say it.
It was
That's who
the
they were in the
Redskins.
Because
90s.
they
it
were
was the Redskins.
the Redskins.
Buffalo, though, I mean, they were automatic for a while. They were going to the Super Bowl.
They were.
I mean, they dominated the AFC there for that 4-year stretch, and still one of the best rosters, I think, of all time
And
in football.
I always wondered what might have happened had they won that first one against the Giants. That they
missed field
they
goal.
could have won.
That's the one they could have won.
Wide right, wide left. Which way was it?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Scott
it was,
Norwood?
It was wide.
Scott Norwood.
I remember the kicker.
Well, his name will live in infamy.
It will. It will. Bills Chiefs closes it out tomorrow night, 6:30. The good thing is you have football all evening. The bad thing is football lasts till 10 o'clock or later.
Yep.
You know.
Well, what I don't like is you have to wait until today you have to wait until 4:30 and tomorrow until 3.
Yeah, Sunday schedule I really
get a
don't
game.
get. I'm okay with it on Saturday more than I am on Sunday. It's just 1 and 4:30 is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know why we have to wait till 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I
you
would
know what
rather
it
have
is.
the day games than the night games.
They're always going to push it into a Sunday night game.
Championship games will be the same way next weekend too. They'll
3
be
and
at 3 and
6:30.
6:30. Yep, they sure will. You can count on it. I don't know that the TV ratings are that much higher. I'd like to see what go back and look over the years and see whenever you played those games at 1 and 4:30 versus 3 and 6:30. I don't see how they. I think you might lose some people late in the second game. On the East Coast especially with it being a work day the next day. We have not talked much about this one. The Bengals and the Titans. The Titans, believe it or not, I don't even remember my other team, Brett. You got to help me, but I picked the Titans to go to the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year. After they were blown out by 20-some points in Week 1, wasn't so sure. But and who did that? Who beat them that bad in Week 1 last year? This year they were just. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
They were beaten soundly
Go back and
first
see.
week of the season. But you know what? They've been through some injuries like just about every other team. They're supposed to get Derrick Henry back, supposedly starting in the game today. That's going to be a big boost for them. But the Bengals are hot. And I'm not sure playing on the road.
It was the Cardinals that beat them.
Cardinals beat them
Yeah.
40-something.
38-13.
38-13 Week 1. Yeah, that Cardinal team is long since
Long
faded.
gone.
Long since faded away. And the Titans are right where we thought they would be, right in the mix of things.
Yeah, they won 8 out of their next 9 after they lost that one.
I think the Titans are going to win the game, but I think out of I won't be shocked if the Bengals win. I'll put it that way. They got the right mentality. They got the right quarterback. He just doesn't let much bother him. The problem, I guess, the question is going to be in that game to me is how much pressure can Tennessee get on Joe Burrow to rattle him? Because if he's left alone back there to pick them apart, then they could easily come out on top and win this football game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a keep-away game for Tennessee, don't you? Let's get Henry or whoever. I don't know how many carries you can count on Henry having first game back? 20?
Yeah,
you
probably
would think
so.
at least.
Well, can you? It should be fresh, though, right? But then again, he could also get winded quicker. I don't know. I don't know. Which road team has the best chance of winning? Woo.
Ooh. I'm going to go L.A. I don't know why I said that.
I won't be shocked if any of the road teams win. I mean,
No?
I'll be shocked if all 4 of them win.
Right.
But I just wouldn't be shocked if. Would you be shocked at the Bills, the Rams,
No.
the Niners? I think the Niners would probably be the biggest upset. Is that the biggest spread?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
And it's 5.
Yep.
I think the one I would be surprised by the most would be Cincinnati, and that's just because they've never been here.
Yeah.
And they're on the road. Last week they were at home, and I didn't think they looked great last week. That game had a lot of field goals. There weren't many big plays.
Well, the Raiders could have easily won the game.
Yeah.
The Raiders could have won that game.
And I love Joe
that's for sure.
Burrow. I like watching him play.
Yep.
But this is his first road playoff game.
Thought you were going to say his first rodeo.
Yeah.
It's in my first rodeo.
Basically, it is. Right? Basically, it is his first rodeo when it comes to playing in the divisional.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee won by 20 or more.
You can't. Well, that's true. If the Bengals, you can't be happy just to be there because you won the first playoff game in 30-some years last week. You can't be happy just to be there.
But I actually think the Rams have a really good chance to beat Tampa.
I would rank. Golly, this is just mine. The way the Bills are playing, I think Kansas City's going to win the game. But I would also rank the Bills 1, the Rams 2, the Bengals 3, and the 49ers 4. That's the way I look at it. And the only reason I put the 49ers 4, San Francisco can't get behind. If they get behind 10 points, they're just not the big play, light you up offense. It's, you know what I mean? They want to run the ball, keep it away from Green Bay. What's the temperature going to be in Green Bay tonight?
Around 0, I think.
Well, I wouldn't expect anything
0.
else.
Yeah. That could play a factor. I just think Green Bay, I think, is they've just been dynamite all year. I think it's Aaron Rodgers' year. If I had to, we do this every week, and I still say, Super Bowl I is going to be replayed when it's all said and done, and that's be the Packers and the Chiefs, right? Who met in Super Bowl I. I think we got a rematch of that down the road at some point. But I'm not betting the house on either one of them, because you got Brady that I'm discounting, throwing him out, not going to be in there. You got – I don't know. I mean, this is
10 degrees tonight in
10.
Green Bay.
Heat wave coming through. This is pretty a solid of – the games may not show it today and tomorrow. I hope they do. But this is pretty even of 8 teams as you could get. You know what I mean? I mean, here's your question. Out of these 8, which one is least likely to be getting rings when it's all said and done? Out of those 8.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Cincinnati because, I just don't think.
The newcomer?
The newcomer. I mean, Burrow, I don't think he's – I think he could win a Super Bowl down the road.
I think he will.
I have that much faith in him.
But I'd agree with you. I think they are – Bengals or Niners, one of those two.
Yeah, I don't think the Niners are as good as they were. When did they go the last time to the Super Bowl?
When they played Baltimore.
Is that the last time? No. They lost to the Chiefs a couple years ago, didn't they?
Chiefs a couple years ago, yeah.
Oh.
With Garoppolo.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
They did.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
I thought they lost to Kansas City. That was Kansas City's win was – and San Francisco led in the fourth quarter of that game. A lot of people forget.
Yeah.
San Francisco was ahead in the fourth quarter of that game against Mahomes and the Chiefs. And that was
I think they led by 2 possessions
They may have.
In the second
like a 10
half,
point lead
yeah.
maybe or something. Yeah, they may have.
It was like Kansas City just turned it on.
They did. Well, that's what I say. They remind me of Golden
Yeah.
State. They can just light you up.
Yeah, I forgot all about San Francisco playing in that Super Bowl. So that was just two seasons ago.
I think it was.
Last Kansas City's been
Tampa.
to the last two.
Yeah, there you go. That had to be. Yep. I don't know. I think it's pretty. I like our playoff. Is there, if there's one team that you could take and insert it in a spot and think that they could still win it all, it might be Dallas. But Dallas has just made too many mistakes all year. They just shot themselves in the foot. So even if they didn't do it last week, the chances of doing it today would be, where would they be today if they would they be in Tampa or would they have been in Green Bay? They've been in Tampa. Yeah. They weren't going to beat Brady because Brady's not going to make the mistakes that lets them stay.
One
in the
argument
game.
I heard this week in the post Cowboys talk was that maybe the big three of Dallas and some of their guys, their best players aren't the guys that we think are the best players. Maybe it's not Dax. Maybe it's not Zeke.
Well, it's definitely not Zeke.
Yeah. He only had, 41
Tony
yards?
Pollard's a better running back.
Yeah, Zeke. I think Zeke is past his prime.
CeeDee Lamb has
It don't take long for running backs.
CeeDee Lamb has one catch in the whole game.
Well, Amari Cooper's still the best receiver on that, best wide receiver on that team. Lamb has the potential to be, but he's not yet.
I still really like Dak.
Yeah, he's fine.
I think the big issue there is Mike McCarthy. I just don't think he's a very good coach.
And Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget Jerry looming in the background.
Which is the reason Mike McCarthy's going to hang on, because he'll do whatever Jerry says.
Well, do you see Mike McCarthy just kind of sliding into the same role that Jason Garrett did all those years? Fall guy. Never really had success, yet Jerry kept him on because he could tell him what to do.
I heard you and Lanny yesterday talking a little bit about being the head coach on a team LeBron plays for.
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather be a head coach on a team LeBron plays for, or would you rather be the head coach of the Cowboys with Jerry in charge? Which one of those would be the worst job?
I think the Cowboys' job.
There's no doubt. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Because
at least we know LeBron pretty much knows what he's doing. He may,
and Jerry can't help you on the field.
Right.
LeBron can help you on the court.
Can help you on the court. You may be a lame duck coach if LeBron is on the team, but still.
Anybody that hung on to Jason Garrett for 52 years, or whatever, I think it just came down to he felt all the pressure from the fans, fan base, and the media and everything. He finally just had to let
him go.
Yeah, a guy can't even make it as offensive coordinator.
Now, he went to the Giants,
2 years with the Giants and gone.
Now
Is that
gone.
right? Yeah.
He's gone now.
I don't know what he's doing now.
Everybody's gone.
But,
see, I think Kellen Moore is eventually going to be the next Jason Garrett. I think he's going to be their head coach.
Well, he's been getting a lot of flack too.
5 or 6 years,
loss.
And he's going to be Jerry's next.
I got news for him.
Puppet.
What I see out of Kellen Moore, I don't know how good of offense coordinator he is. He's coaching a team that's loaded with talent. He may not be the guy. Look at these plays where they throw this pass and then they run the option out of it. You see that the other day?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy threw it trying to hit the guy running down the sideline. He missed him by 15 yards.
That's not a good play.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And they ran out one other time, like a couple weeks back, and it did not work either. It backfired. But, number one, you got to take care of the football in whatever offense you run, and that play did not,
And let's just can we face the basic fact that Zeke is not what he was?
No, but all running backs after about 5 years, they start. There's very few Adrian Petersons and
Derrick Henrys.
Derrick Henry just give a little time. He may be. He's already going through some injuries.
Yeah, that's true.
You want a fresh. You want a fresh running back in the backfield. That's why I say about 3 to 4 years, it's just time to move on and put another one in, because I like Pollard better than
How many times have we
Elliott
seen
already.
it? The guy comes in, has a big splash for a year or two. Certainly that's the case with Zeke. And how about one of our all-time favorites, the high school player from Tarboro,
Gurley.
Yep, look how fast he
he
fizzled out.
was a meteor. I mean, and he
It's,
had that run to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
with
in
him.
his first 3-4 years, he was Hall of Fame. He was headed for the Hall of Fame.
down.
Injuries took its toll. Injuries took its toll.
I believe Derrick Henry is 2 years older than Zeke.
Yeah.
He doesn't look it.
Well, I'm not sure about Zeke's lifestyle.
Zeke looks like he's got some wear and tear.
Yeah. Henry don't wear the cut-off shirts that don't cover his belly and do the feed me all the time.
Yeah.
He's all business. And it shows. Lenny says the Bat Out of Hell debuted in 1977. The producer was. You know him.
I know him.
You know him.
Producer,
Both of you know him.
Producer of that album.
Yes.
Yeah, I've already seen it, so I won't answer.
I should know him, right? I do know him. Ooh, what year was that? 78?
77.
77. Well, I'm sure it wasn't Phil Spector.
Butch, talking about whenever he saw Meatloaf, said it was definitely in the 80s, and both of us were on the way down.
Good one, Butch. That's the best line of the day.
It is.
far.
That's why I started laughing a while ago.
Both of us were on the way
That's why I
down.
started laughing a while ago when I read it. Let's take a time out and let Mike think about who produced that album, Bat Out of Hell for Meatloaf. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back. We on? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Snowy. Welcome to the snow belt. We used to be called the sun belt. Over the last 8, 10 days, whatever it is, 7 days.
It's
the
been
snow
different.
belt.
It's been different.
The snow belt. The snow we got, usually here if we get snow, the next day or 2 days later it's 60 degrees and it's gone.
It's gone.
This has hung around a while. And now some fresh out there on top of it. Please be safe. I told him that hint, Lenny. Lenny says hint, bang on the drum all day. And Mike finally got it when I gave him the initials.
Yeah, I didn't do well on
The
that.
TR initials gave it away. Todd Rundgren produced the album, Bad Out of Hell. Meatloaf passed away on Thursday night, right? That's what that would have been. Get my days mixed up with the schedule that's been.
Speaking of passings, I feel like we should mention the passing of Johnny Calvert.
Oh, absolutely, Mike. I'm so sad, but I'm glad you brought that up. I did not want to go this morning without mentioning that. Member of Lincoln County Sports Hall of Fame. Just I don't know, just a terrific guy that we lost last week. This past week, just a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah. So active in the sports community. He was. I looked it up. He even played baseball at Gaston College.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he went on Stetson, played baseball.
The Hatters.
The Hatters. And of course, obviously, one of the better athletes to come out of Lincoln in high school during that era, and we all know what he went on to do. I remember he even coached basketball at Lincoln. He did. He was a baseball coach at Lincoln. Also had a year or two with Post 100 coached.
Yeah, he did. Stayed very active too. He played stuff all the time.
Yeah,
He would.
a lot of golf, softball.
Played softball, played golf. My bet is he even played the pickleball, the new thing that's caught on. Because he used to play racquetball. At the park and stuff like that. So just always something going on. Always stayed in terrific shape.
He did.
And it's sad to lose him. Just a really all around good guy. Did a lot of DJing as well.
Yeah, he really got into the beach music scene and the shag culture and all that. And during his retirement years, I mean, I used to see him at dances and stuff, live after fives and places, shag music functions and so forth. So yeah, very very active throughout his life. Yep. And of course, we want to, Ron Covard, who was an outstanding pitcher for Lincoln into the 90s.
His son,
and what was his daughter's name?
I was just trying to remember, and I
can't think.
can't
she was
either.
a little bit older than Ron.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why I can't remember.
I want to say Amy, but I don't think that's right.
I can't say one way or the other. Can't say one way or the other. It slips my mind right now. But, yep, Johnny will be missed by many, not just in Lincoln County, but, even
I can't remember whether he
the
coached
entire
boys
area.
Basketball at Lincoln or girls.
Girls.
I thought it was
He
girls.
coached girls.
Yeah.
Sure did. Coached the girls for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that. You know what? I wanted to get into this a little bit, and we haven't really done a lot with college basketball. But I thought about this a couple days ago. We ACC went out 20 years ago, whatever it's been, wanted to improve their football, bring in Miami and Florida State. What did Miami and Florida State do on Tuesday night?
Well, they knocked off the two biggies of the ACC.
They beat the two most storied programs on the same night.
Yeah.
Miami defeated North Carolina pretty handily, and Florida State pulled out an overtime win over Duke.
Mm-hmm.
So it left me wondering, are North Carolina – now don't get me wrong, Duke don't belong in the conversation on the football side.
No.
And North Carolina is up and down with
Yeah.
the football program. I mean, like on a big scale, up and down. It's not a slight trend up or a slight trend down, but who's better at what? Which of these schools are better? Miami under Larinagas had a really solid basketball program.
Yeah.
And Leonard Hamilton, we know what he's done. Down at Florida State.
And how does a coach manage to win 13 straight overtime games?
That's unreal, isn't it? I saw that. I mean, that was their 13th
Law of
straight.
averages, logic, cause and effect.
Yeah.
Use any measure you want.
Well, they'll lose their next one.
Yeah.
Because that was publicized. Their next overtime
Probably
game.
be today. Don't they play Miami today?
Yeah, they play Miami today, the two top dogs in the league.
Are they the two top? Are they?
Yeah.
Are they? Well, I mean, you say it like
Well,
I just
Florida
automatically
State-
should know that.
It's tied with somebody, right?
Florida State has 2 conference losses, I think. Maybe they don't. Hold on, let me see here.
I'm going to look. It looks like, were there games played last night that had ranked teams involved?
Yeah, Wisconsin, Michigan State.
Michigan State beat Wisconsin on the road.
Miami is the
86-74.
only one-loss team in the ACC.
Miami is the only one-loss team.
Okay.
And that loss was to Florida State just a week or so ago.
Right.
It wasn't
Right.
long ago.
Wow.
And then Duke, North Carolina, Florida State, Notre Dame all have 2 losses.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here now too. Miami 6-1, Florida State 5-2, Notre Dame 4-2, Duke 4-2, Carolina 4-2, Louisville 5-3, Wake Forest 5-3, Virginia 5-3. Everybody else is below 500, which would be Syracuse with 3 wins, Virginia Tech, Boston College at 2-4, Clemson and Pitt 2-5, NC State 2-6, and Georgia Tech 1-6. I thought Georgia Tech was gonna. I saw them play early in the year.
Yeah, I thought they'd be better.
I did too.
And they were pretty good last year.
Yeah.
At this point, how many teams? I mean, I know it's early, but they're already doing bracketology. Is there more than one ACC team that's a shoe-in? And I guess I'm talking about Duke, unless they completely collapse.
I don't know why
shoe-in
Miami
for the
wouldn't
tournament.
be. I really don't know why they hadn't been ranked yet.
I agree.
They're 14-4,
5
and they're in first place in the ACC.
Yeah, why weren't they ranked?
I don't know.
They must have a bad loss somewhere. That's the only thing I can think of is one of those 4 is a bad loss. That's the only
Alabama beat them by 30.
Yeah, but that's a ranked team.
Dayton beat them by 16.
Probably a ranked team.
Central Florida beat them.
Yeah, that may. I don't know about Central Florida then.
So they were pretty bad in their non-conference. They only beat Florida Atlantic by 2.
So they've been getting manhandled. How bad's the ACC?
They beat
then?
North. They beat
something
North
about the
Texas by
ACC.
6.
They're leading the ACC and getting killed in non-conference.
Yeah,
games.
that's right.
Wow. When it's all said and done, or should I say, at the end of the day?
Oh, boy. All said and done, at the end of the day, going forward.
Well, how should I word it then? At the end of the season. Well,
that's better.
Okay. At the end of the season, I would guess in the NCAA tournament, you will see Duke and North Carolina, along with Miami and Florida State.
Yep.
That could be it.
Could be.
Notre Dame, I'm not sure about. Louisville, I think, will probably get there. I know they got 7 losses, but Louisville, I don't know. I think that they just always have the athletes they can put a run together. You know, if they put 4 or 5 wins together at the right time against good teams, I guess they need some good wins, you know.
Yeah.
But and Wake Forest, I'm not sure about.
Yeah, there's a group of teams that is yet to be determined. You're right. Louisville, Wake Forest, Virginia, even 11-7 overall, 5-3 in the conference.
Virginia's averaging 28 points a game.
There's going to be Louisville's problem. They have a loss to Furman.
Ooh.
DePaul, Western Kentucky.
Don't let Western Kentucky fool you. They're good in football and basketball.
Hilltoppers.
I know, but that doesn't look good for Louisville's
No, it don't. I know.
Resume.
No, if it comes down to that.
No, the Furman one could really hurt.
What's happened to NC State basketball? Nothing. That's where we usually.
Yeah.
If you're NC State, and I hope I don't offend any fans, your expectations tend to be a little lower.
You know, we always talk for a long time that NC State's at one university in the ACC that didn't have an identity, a football. You know, they became a baseball school.
Yeah.
But they're definitely football now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, their football is going to be 8-3, 8-4.
Their identity is at least going 8-3.
Yeah.
Their women's basketball is
pretty good.
Yeah, they're ranked in the
better
top
than
5.
Better than the men by far.
The thing is, though, you can't win that. You know, if your name's not UConn, South Carolina, Baylor,
you're not going to win
anymore.
I think it's getting a little more even,
is
though.
It?
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, well, UConn's not nearly as dominant.
Who won last year?
As they used to be. South Carolina didn't.
South Carolina won it last year. With
that's good to see. I mean, South Carolina needs something, too, because they certainly don't have any kind of identity down there.
Pretty similar to NC State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball was theirs for a long time at South Carolina. Won a couple titles.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Brett, although Oregon women have made a few inroads. But mostly it's like you say, Baylor, UConn, who else? South Carolina.
So in men's sports, what are Miami and Florida State? Are they not better basketball schools than they are football right now?
Last 5 years they have been.
Least,
no question.
Right? At least 5 years. I mean, that's who was the last solid coach at Miami? We know Jimbo Fisher did a pretty good job at Florida State.
He did.
But who was the last? Was that a question or a statement when you said he did? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I think he obviously did he won a national title and got to.
Yeah, he was good.
Okay. All right. Well, who's the last relevant coach?
Well, Mark Richt was there. I don't know I don't know what his record was.
Do anything.
But
he didn't do anything.
I can't remember.
Coker?
Larry Coker.
Was he the last one?
He was the last one.
I was thinking further back than that, but I guess he did win a title, didn't he?
He did.
So I mean that's about as relevant.
Did he win a title? I mean, he did win it.
No, I was thinking like Dennis Erickson.
Yeah, or Davis, Butch Davis.
Yeah, Butch Davis.
Butch Davis.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson, Howard Snellenberger.
Well, think about the turnover in football.
They had a great run.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
from late 80s to early 2000s.
Lenny says, I'm hearing right now 5 teams, but it's going to be it's a long time till March. Okay, 5 teams, but he didn't say which ones they were.
Yeah, we want to know.
But I think
Does he think Louisville's in the mix?
Well, I think it would be Notre Dame at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're. I mean, just because
I think they're like,
stands.
as far as the RPI, I think Wake Forest is that 5th team.
I'd like to see them get in. I really would.
But from watching them play, I thought Notre Dame looked a little better than Wake Forest. Just don't, I've only seen partial games.
Why has the ACC slipped so in basketball? What's different?
Boy.
Just more good teams?
Yes.
Because there's more good players, which makes more good teams. But, I mean, the ACC at one time, you'd look and there's 9 you knew were going.
Well,
8 to
one
9.
problem right now is Virginia is supposed to be good.
They're not.
11
and I'm
7.
not basing it on their roster. I'm just basing it on what they've done the last, since Tony Bennett's been there. I thought they were going to be in the top 3 in the conference every year as long as he was there.
Florida State's the hottest team. They've won 5 in a row.
Syracuse, I mean, they're, that's a name you usually think of being pretty good. They're 9-9 right now.
Isn't Buddy still playing?
Yep.
Yeah, they got 2 Boeheims now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
He's still shooting well, too.
And they're at Duke today at 12.
Ooh.
Oh, they always give Duke fits for whatever reason. They just always have played well against. Of course, a lot of teams do here lately. I look at some of these other conference races. Kansas, you would expect to see at the top, and they are at the top. 15-2. Who's Kansas's losses to? Any idea? One of them's conference, so it probably had to be Baylor or Texas Tech. I'm just guessing.
You think this is the best conference in the country, the Big 12, right now? I think.
Well, they got Baylor and Kansas. That's two really good ones. Texas Tech's pretty good too.
Yeah, Texas Tech's right up there. They're ranked 18th. Texas is also ranked. Iowa State is also ranked, even though they're 2-4 in conference play. They are ranked 15th because of a 14-4.
Kansas lost to Texas Tech and Dayton.
Well, that's not bad.
That's not. Lost to Dayton by 1
on that last second shot. I remember seeing that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that one about a month ago. Butch, I'm going to ask you: is the Wood open today? Hadn't heard anything about the Wood, if it's open for breakfast today or not with the icy conditions.
And Kansas has a big week. They play Texas Tech on Monday, and then they're playing Kentucky next weekend.
So you, Mike, said, is that the best conference?
Yeah, top to bottom.
How about the Big Ten?
Yeah, they're good. I think it comes down to those two, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, you have number 4 ranked Purdue, who's in 6th place.
Yep.
In their conference, or 7th.
The difference to me is, does the Big Ten have anybody that could win it all?
Yeah.
Because the Big 12 does have a couple teams that could win
Baylor,
it all.
Obviously.
Could Purdue win it all? I mean, I hadn't seen them play.
Haven't seen them play.
No, neither.
Michigan State is always good, but I don't think they're ever good enough to win it all.
Doesn't seem like they are anymore.
No, not anymore.
And Wisconsin's the same. Wisconsin just
very good, but
Wisconsin can get to the Final Four, but that's all they've got.
I certainly don't have faith in Illinois.
Illinois can't win anything.
No.
Michigan's not good this year. 8-7 overall.
Yeah, been very disappointing.
Ohio State does have a win over Duke.
Yeah, they do.
19th ranked, however, 12-4 overall.
How about the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers?
Well, I like Indiana. I think Indiana has they're not ranked, but I just think who's coaching Indiana? Because they
Mike Woodson, who was on their 1976.
Okay. They made a step
team.
forward this year. I think they started.
They beat Purdue a couple days ago, or a couple nights.
How about Michigan? Only 8-7.
Yeah.
And there's Mighty Terps, 10-9, going to the Big Ten where they're going to dominate basketball. Right? We know Nebraska. We know for sure Nebraska's a football school.
Yeah.
0-8, 6-13. Just going through some of these other conferences to see your Charlotte 49ers. 9-7 on the season.
Well, the Big East always has really good basketball teams.
Yes.
And that's all it has, right? Or they have football. How come I can't find the Big East? Would that be under the B's?
Providence in first place right now.
The Friars. Yeah, 5-1, 15-2 for the Providence.
And I've seen UConn play. And I thought they looked really good.
I can see the Big East getting 5 teams in. Yeah, you guys. What do you guys think? I mean,
oh yeah, I think
Providence,
I think maybe more. I think they could get up to 7.
And if you're ranked, you're automatic, right? I mean, you're going to get in if you're ranked.
Yeah.
And they got 4 ranked teams. I know one of them is 25th, but it's also UConn. Who's coaching UConn these days?
You tell me.
Tell me.
I don't know.
I don't either. I can't.
It's Hurley, Bobby's brother.
Is it
Dan?
Okay.
Yeah.
Danny Hurley.
Okay.
Dan, yeah.
I did not realize that.
Well, that begs the question: who's coaching Marquette? Because obviously,
Wojo's gone.
Wojo's gone.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Al McGuire.
Al McGuire brought back.
Providence, Villanova, Xavier, and UConn are all ranked out of the Big East. Creighton is a familiar
Creighton's pretty
face
good
when it comes to NCAA
Seton
tournament.
Hall's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that? Brings back some moment. How about Georgetown though?
I mean, that's a really good
The big
basketball
power
conference.
Yeah.
Is Patrick Ewing still the coach at Georgetown?
Is he? Today.
Today,
he's
anyway.
0-4.
He may not be
6-9.
at the end of the year.
0-4, 6-9. How about Weber State? We remember them from pulling off a big upset 20 years ago, maybe
Carolina,
against North
right?
Carolina. Was that in the NCAA tournament, or was it just?
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Definitely.
13-5, 6-1. Some of these teams, it may not sound like a lot when you just say these names, but some of these teams really cause trouble when they get into the NCAA tournament.
Oh, Shaka Smart.
Where is
Marquette's head coach?
Is he?
That's right.
Where is what conference is Northern Iowa in? Because Northern Iowa always seems to pull off an upset or two.
They've had a history of
when they get in the
knocking off
NCAA
teams.
tournament. They just always seem to be a tough out. And I honestly thought the Big Ten would have been better than it is. Mike, you're probably right with that Big 12 being the top one. And then the lowly.
Don't forget the
Pac-12.
Pac-12. They got some good teams.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
No, they have a few. They're not great from top to bottom.
Don't forget the SEC.
That's right.
Auburn and Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
Auburn 6-0, 17-1.
Northern Iowa, David, is in the Missouri Valley Conference. They're currently 5-2 and 9-6.
Okay.
So
okay, but I guarantee you they've played a pretty good non-conference schedule.
now the Loyola Chicago, which made the Final Four a few years back, they're having a great year, 5-0 and 14-2.
Yeah, I still want to find that.
Arizona, Southern
There you
Cal,
go.
and
That's
UCLA
what
are all really good.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay, how come I can't find the? Can't read here. The Pac. There's the Patriot League. Wouldn't it follow that? Evidently not. Oh, it's in front of it. Here we go. Like it should be. Yeah, Arizona undefeated. UCLA, Southern Cal, Oregon is usually a tournament team.
Yeah, you should make the tournament.
Yeah. Colorado's 12-5. I could see somebody like that getting in.
Yeah, they'll get 5 or 6 teams in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Utah's not a basketball school.
It's better than the ACC.
Utah, though, at one time, what was the big guy that they had made the Final Four? Utah. Remember when they made the Final Four? I think Carolina beat them.
Was it Van
in
Horn?
the Final Four. Yeah.
Keith Van Horn. Yeah.
Yeah, they were good. They were good for a few. What was the big guy that coached them? Majerus? Did he
Majerus,
coach
yeah.
him? He was
He's-
great. We
he's
lost him,
deceased.
didn't we?
We
Yeah, we
did.
lost him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a fun coach to watch.
Yeah, he was a good coach.
He was very good. Let's take a time out. Appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk. Trying to find out maybe Butch dozed off, or maybe he's checking to see if the Brookwood is open this morning. Take a time out. Back with our final segment in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. Final segment of our show this morning, about 20 minutes left. Icy conditions outside. Be careful if you're heading out, getting on the highway. Big time announcement coming from us next Saturday when we're on the air, so you'll want to tune in.
Yeah.
There's your tease.
We're moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment.
Yeah, let's see.
sky.
We're on the east side.
Yeah,
East side of Maiden.
that's true.
Um,
Spreading our wings, growing, right? Or is it?
I've been growing for years,
Mm-hmm.
haven't you? Every time I eat, grow a little more. High school athletics has been like a disappearing act, a Houdini, here lately with all the weather.
We've had nothing this week, right? As far as Lincoln County goes.
Brookwood is open. Butch
Yeah.
says, "See you there."
So we're right.
One more sentence on there. You want to guess what that last sentence is? It's open. See you there. Got some hot news.
Oh,
It's not a weather report.
no. Hot news.
Oh, it's probably not going
Which
to
he'll
be.
turn into a
Oh,
30-minute story.
Oh, bye. It better be good.
Yeah.
He said it's a snow melter. The
Snow
news,
melter.
The news.
Tell
is
him to
so-
go ahead and tell it.
Yeah, tell it before we drive.
We need some melting. Well,
yes,
you
we
know,
do.
To drive over
Yes,
there
we
for
do.
a mile.
And you be safe, Butch, if you're driving over to meet us for breakfast. So, you know, we have to get us one of these Saturday mornings. Get anybody wants to come invited. Just a lot of our loyal listeners that are on every Saturday morning that tune in. Just say, hey, I'll come and
I would love to see that.
Yeah, Butch.
I would love to see.
It's on Butch. He's buying, and just roll in there and just have a good time for about an hour and a half. Our breakfast is usually about an hour and a half. So with all the talking and that's going on, but it's just a continuation of the show, right? We just kind of move it to Brookwood for part 2.
Remember the old days when we actually would have the show at
Yes, we
various
did.
restaurant venues?
Yeah, we've actually had it at Brookwood before back in the day. That's been a while, but we
Mhm.
have had it at Brookwood.
I even go so far back. Remember the old Rhines?
You are old, man.
Oh,
You're
man.
old.
It's the
God,
Sports
that's
Talk
old.
guys' unedited version.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, get into more gossip and rumors, the rumor mill, and things like that. When you join us at the Brookwood, what's the biggest thing happened this week in sports? Anything just mind
Well,
boggling?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think a lot of our loyal listeners follow tennis, but Djokovic, of course, was banned ultimately and kicked out of the country from playing in the Australian
Kicked out of the
Open.
country.
But wasn't it? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think so.
I did read some of the stuff about him not going to be allowed to play.
Yep.
But I did not realize it had gone that far
Mhm.
yet. That far, and
No longer down under.
no longer down under. You know, it's kind of with if you think about it. Was there any? Okay, Brad. I know I've heard a lot of talk about Vogel being fired. Hadn't happened yet, but Frank Vogel, head coach of the Lakers, that's been a hot topic on some of the talk shows. Do you think he's out the door, or is he not?
I don't know. I don't know why they hadn't done it yet. If they're going to,
Yeah.
Because I mean they've been playing pretty bad, really inconsistent. But I don't really think it's his fault. They just need somebody to blame, or I guess to make a change. I just don't think without Anthony Davis, their roster is not very good.
Butch asked me if I read his CVAC. I get so many texts, and here's what happens: they overlap, and I did not see it. It came before. It was actually the first one he sent this morning. I guess what happened was right after that he sent me one about meatloaf, so it covered up the first one. But it said there will be no CVAC athletics made up today due to safety, no practices, and LEA decisions. We did get one wrestling match in and one basketball game in all this week. Another wrestling match was West Lincoln defeating Lincoln. The basketball game, he might have to fill me in on who got to play. The next 2 weeks coming up, though, he says busy, and I could see that. I mean,
Oh yeah.
And let me ask you this, Butch: Are you allowed to play 4 basketball games in a week if one of those is on Saturday? I think there used to be some kind of rule where you couldn't play but 3 in 5 days, but if you stretch it out to 6, that you could possibly play 4. And that's, it's sad if that's what it comes to get some of these games caught up, because that's going to wear some teams down prior to tournament and playoff time. But
yeah, but they deserve to get to play them.
Sure,
if it's possible.
Sure. And there's also the financial factor that comes in too. I mean, some of these bigger matchups or rivalry games would bring in good gates. And
I would rather see, if it had to happen, them finish out the conference season, whatever games were missed, than have the conference tournament, if that's an option.
Conference tournament's probably a moneymaker, though.
Yeah, but that's a week that teams could get 3 or 4 games in, where if you have the conference tournament, only one team's going to get.
Some
of those teams are only getting 1 game.
Yeah, that's right. Only 2 teams will get 3 in, 2 boys and 2 girls. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it gives you a chance to make the home gates, get the home gates as well. But we'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out at breakfast this morning. But yeah, that's and
there were already enough games missed due to COVID.
Yep. And
this was 2 more games on top of that,
and that's going to continue. That's that's from what I understand, that's still an issue, in the whole state. I mean, not just the conferences here locally, but within the whole state. What I do think is that we'll go to school Monday. I do think school will be back in session on Monday.
You would, I would,
surely. And that will help. Well, you look out there right now. You wouldn't go right now. There's no way you could go right now, and the temperatures aren't going to get very warm. So, some of the back roads that
I think if today was Sunday, I don't think there would be school tomorrow.
Probably not. So
that only leaves
one day. That only leaves one extra day.
Yeah.
To get rid of some of the snow. And I can promise you this: I look on my phone at the temperature, and it says 26 degrees, and it's cloudy. That's not melting anything away.
No, nothing's changing right now.
That's not melting anything away. Without this. Now, if the sun would pop out, but hey, let's face it, we only get so many hours of sunshine a day in the winter anyway. About 5 o'clock, it's gone.
It's gone.
So, here we are sitting at almost 10 o'clock. It better hurry up and get here, right?
I got a question for Brett, our NBA resident expert. But I know we're just casual fans of. The Charlotte Hornets don't get a lot of.
They're hot,
but they're 26-20 right now. If they'd make the playoffs, if they open today. What do you think? I mean, they've got a couple good young players, certainly.
Yeah, they're good. They're an exciting team to watch. Yeah. They score a lot of points, then they give up a lot of points.
That makes for excitement.
Probably right up at the top of the league.
Entertainment,
in both.
Anyway.
LaMelo Ball's been really good. He's finally the star player that they've lacked.
Yeah,
since they came back to Charlotte, or got their team back, and they've just got a lot of exciting athletic players. Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington. There's a lot of dunks, a lot of fast-paced play. Terry Rozier has been really good. He's kind of their go-to guy in the clutch.
He's the guy that came in from Boston.
Yeah.
In the trade.
And they're pretty good. I mean, they beat Milwaukee twice in like a week's time. And that was, as far as I know, Milwaukee had their full team.
And they've really been really good at the Spectrum Center, 13-6.
Yeah, they're good at home.
Well, my question for Brett's a little different. Who's the best team in the West, Phoenix or Golden State?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Golden State, when they only played like 1 minute.
Hard for me to go against Golden
State.
State.
With Draymond. Since Klay Thompson came back, Draymond's only played, I think, 1 minute, and he got hurt in the first minute of that game. and hadn't played since. I think when they're fully healthy, if that happens, I think they're the best team in the West.
Phoenix 35-9. Who is their star power?
Heck of a record.
Oh, it's Chris Paul and Devin Booker.
Okay.
That's their main
That's
two.
a lot.
And then DeAndre Ayton is good, the big man.
The big man, yeah.
Chris Paul is how old now?
I think he's about 36.
Is he?
I think 35, 36.
Yeah, just looking at the top teams in the West: Phoenix, Golden State, Memphis, Utah.
And Memphis
Dallas,
is another team that's really fun to watch.
32-16.
Ja Morant
Ja
has been
Morant.
awesome. I think he ought to be in the MVP conversation.
No doubt.
Denver, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Timberwolves, and Portland. That's your top 10.
Denver's still
in the
good,
West.
but they're still missing Jamal Murray, who's their best guard. But Jokic is really good. He puts up
Why do they show
great
10,
numbers.
10 now? Does 10 from each conference go to the?
Yeah, they have a play-in between 7 through 10.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, they do take 10 teams.
And if you had to pick a best team in the East, is it still Milwaukee or is it one of the teams above them? Brooklyn, Chicago, Miami.
It's not Chicago.
It's odd to see them up there. I was surprised to see them at the number 2 spot.
Miami's kind of stayed under the radar. They have a really good roster. I think Philly could be
26-19.
Could be dangerous. I'd probably take Brooklyn when they're fully healthy. I think they got the best team in the East, but
which includes
that's hard to say because Durant's out. Durant's hurt right now. Kyrie is only playing the road games.
That's where he's hanging out these days, is Brooklyn. Well, he's not hanging out in Brooklyn.
No.
He's hanging out wherever the road
Which is
takes
weird
him.
because the weirdest thing to me is that they let unvaccinated players from on the opponent's teams play when they come to Brooklyn, but they won't let Kyrie play because he's unvaccinated. So it only applies to their team.
That's weird. Is that an NBA rule or
that's
a
Brooklyn's
or a New York rule?
Yeah.
Is that a New York rule? Yeah.
The state. I guess it is the state. That's
the
weird.
City, yeah.
That is weird. That's a little different there.
So they're the best team when they're away from home.
Now, Lenny's going to go back to college basketball a moment. He says Miami is very I think this is college. Whoops. I lost his text. Let's get back in line here. Miami is very old and an experienced team. I think that has helped them be successful.
Mm-hmm.
The old saying, you want to be old and talented, and they are both. The point guard, Charlie Moore, has been at 4 Power 5 schools, California, Kansas, DePaul, and now Miami. He's been playing long enough that he probably has grandkids. That's old and talented.
Something to be said for that, guys. We've seen it the last couple of years. Baylor last year when they won it, they were a veteran club. They had some transfers. They had some guys that didn't go to the NBA, and I think that pays dividends. I mean, if you're, and the transfer portal could make a bigger difference this year than it did last year.
Yep.
Ultimately,
what was Baylor winning last year makes me wonder the age of their.
I bet their
starting.
They had a couple guys 22 or 3 last year.
I know they had several guys. I think 4 out of their starting 5 had played somewhere else before Baylor.
Yeah, well, it was a team that was patched together from transfer.
And that's just who's going to win.
That's who's going to win it.
Teams with experience.
And I think that's what they mostly have this year. Their 4 guys that had transferred in are gone, and they brought in 4 or 5 more transfers.
Yep. One NFL thing I did see that I wanted to get your thoughts on. I saw this morning before I left the house, and it slipped my mind. But longtime defensive coordinator, they call him Wink Martindale, like the game show host.
Wink Martindale.
The Ravens have fired him
as
the defensive coordinator, which I was a little surprised by that. A little bit surprised by that. The Ravens obviously had
I thought a lot of their
more
problems,
issues than that.
Yeah, injuries being the big one.
Mm-hmm. On both sides of the ball, they had a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball, mainly on defense, though. I mean, but I don't know. Maybe, are they looking for a scapegoat or something? I mean,
Yeah.
I just feel like that a healthy Ravens team would have been in the playoffs.
There's no question.
A healthy Ravens team would have been in the playoffs, and I just didn't see that coming, that he would be relieved of his duties. And June Jones, who's coached everywhere, including Hawaii, has been offered the Hawaii job again.
I saw that.
And not going. So
Yeah.
wonder. I mean, I'm sure there's many reasons, but wonder why he's not going to take it. It just says he rejects the offer to be the Hawaii head coach. Remember him from the Atlanta days, and also he was head coach at Hawaii for a while, and had some success with that program when he was in Hawaii. Lenny says the Baylor team was older last year. That's a which leads me to wonder, back to the college basketball thing. We only got just a couple minutes left, but when Duke won the national title in, was it 15?
15.
Was that the youngest team to ever win?
No, it wasn't Kentucky.
Yeah, the Kentucky
Okay.
team with Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis
Yeah.
may have been younger overall.
And I just wonder, is that over?
It's
Are
over.
those days over?
I
Because
think
Yeah,
it's over.
it could happen again.
it just has to be the right five.
yeah,
right?
but it's not going to happen consistently.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
It's
sure.
not it wasn't the wave of the future then, and unless you've got, even that Duke team had some veteran leadership. I mean, you had the three.
Yeah, Quinn Cook was a senior.
Quinn Cook was a senior.
Emil Jefferson was
Bill Jefferson was
maybe a
veteran.
junior.
I don't know about that Kentucky team that won it. I know they had 3 or 4 freshmen in the starting 5. They
Yeah.
probably had a couple vets too.
They're pretty good right now, and
Yeah.
they're very young. Would you
Yeah.
say who's better right now, Kentucky or Duke?
I think they're pretty similar.
Pretty-
Probably pretty similar.
I know Duke beat them pretty bad early in the year, but
Yeah,
They-
that's
First game.
yeah.
I think they've kind of gone the opposite directions.
Well, how good
Since
is
that.
Auburn? I mean,
How young are-
17-1.
But are they veteran or are they?
That's a
I
good
don't know.
question.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah. Who's their coach?
Bruce Pearl.
Is he still there?
Yeah.
He's still
Okay.
there.
Okay. So that shows you how much college basketball I've watched this year. I just haven't seen as much.
I know.
I get into it a little more though as the time
wake
moves
me up
forward
in
now.
March. I think we've all kind of
It's
got to
meaningless.
that point. Meaningless.
It's
Yeah.
almost as meaningless as the bowl games.
It is
in college football.
almost as meaningless.
Just the regular season. I mean, it's all about getting in
I
the
watched the
tournament.
team
Yeah,
I
you just have to
pulled
win
for.
enough to
Yeah.
get in the tournament.
Yeah.
Get in the tournament. If you can't
Yeah.
win 6 in a tournament, guess what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Meaningless season, pretty much. And not everybody does that. Big winners coming out of the NFL. You guys go through all.
Well, I picked the Raiders to win last week, so I have no credit.
Well, they had a really good. I mean, they played well. They
Yeah.
played well.
Yeah.
Titans, Bengals.
Titans,
Everybody goes Titans.
I got to.
Packers,
Yeah.
49ers.
Packers.
Packers.
At home. Then tomorrow the first game is it hid from me there. All of a sudden.
Rams and Bucks.
Rams and Bucks. I'm going Bucks. Just playing at home. I don't think they make mistakes, and the Rams usually feast off your mistakes, and that's how they win games.
I'm going to go Rams because I think this is not quite the same team that Brady that had last year. There's some injuries, don't have the weapons. I think the Rams, they put it together for this one year. I think they're going. Well, they're going to win this game.
And I'll go with Tampa.
I'll take
Brett.
Tampa.
Brett will go with Tampa. Also, let's see. Tampa got Brady. Yeah, I'll go with Tampa. And then,
I can't believe I'm going against Brady.
and then what may be the best game of the weekend should at least be the highest scoring game, so it probably won't. But the Chiefs and the Buffalo.
It'll probably end up being 21-20.
They're very hot, but I love those games.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain if it is. I love those kind of games.
I'm going to take Buffalo in that one. That's my one road team that I'll pick.
Somebody on the road will win.
Yeah.
But I'm going with the Chiefs. I've just picked all the home teams. So.
I just can't pick against Mahomes the way they've been playing lately. The defense seems to have picked it up a lot. They're fairly healthy. Yeah, going with Mahomes.
Final comments from Lenny. He said he saw where the Panthers are probably going to hire Ben McAdoo as their offensive coordinator. And he said Auburn, Kentucky today at 2 o'clock on Channel 3. That might be worth
That
watching.
might be worth a look.
Lead you right into football.
Yeah.
Auburn and Kentucky today on Channel 3 at 2 o'clock. That's, it doesn't get much better than that. That's a couple heavyweights there. And I'm guessing Rupp Arena's a fun place to watch a game.
Yeah.
I mean, on TV, I've never been to Rupp Arena, but it's got to be a great atmosphere.
Any bets on whether Ashley Judd will be there?
For Auburn game, she probably will be.
Yeah,
probably will be. It makes it more entertaining, doesn't it, Mike? No, Ashley.
Well, there's always a couple celebrities in the audience. Is good.
He says, I know one player Auburn has on Walker Kessler.
Yeah, transfer.
Well,
from
don't they
North
have
Carolina?
Yeah.
Don't they have a big
Walker
time
Kessler.
freshman, Jabari Smith or something like
I think
that?
so.
Who's maybe considered right up there with Bancaro as a draft prospect.
You guys send me a reminder today about 1:45, so I don't forget to tune
Well,
in.
Duke will
to
be on
that.
from 12
Duke's on
to
at 12.
2. So
You
when
won't
that's
be
over,
watching
You guys
that.
send me a reminder today at 1:45. Who's Duke
I
playing?
Syracuse.
Syracuse, yeah, all the same.
I bet you won't watch it.
I'll have it on. If I'm in the house, I'll have it on. I'm not going to make it a priority. Honestly, I'm more
Well,
interested.
you were
in
really mad because you had to stay up to 11:15.
more interested in the Kentucky Auburn game.
Well, I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean that.
I want to see if
listen,
Auburn's
if Duke loses to Syracuse, which is very possible.
Oh, very possible.
It's not going to be a fun day, right? Jabari Smith, Lenny says.
Jabari Smith. Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for tuning in this morning. We appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk. For Mike, Brett, I'm David. See you next week.